Was Fidel Castro president of Cuba? Imagine a leader who transformed an entire country, introducing significant changes that still resonate today. Fidel Castro was that leader, and his role in Cuba's history is fascinating. So, was he the president of Cuba? Fidel Castro came to power in 1959 after leading the Cuban Revolution, which overthrew the government of Fulgencio Batista. Initially, Castro served as the Prime Minister of Cuba from 1959 to 1976. During this period, he implemented various reforms and aligned Cuba with the Soviet Union, adopting a Marxist-Leninist model of development. In 1976, Castro's role changed when a new constitution was introduced. He became the President of the Council of State and the President of the Council of Ministers, positions he held until 2008. This meant he was not just the head of government, but also the head of state, giving him considerable power and influence. Castro also held the position of First Secretary of the Communist Party of Cuba from 1965 until 2011, further solidifying his control over the country. His presidency was marked by both significant social and economic reforms, such as providing free education and health care, and a repressive system that punished dissent. So, to answer the question, yes, Fidel Castro was indeed the president of Cuba, a role he held from 1976 to 2008, when he transferred power to his brother, Raúl Castro. Was Fidel Castro president of Cuba? Let's take a journey through the life of Fidel Castro, a man who left an indelible mark on Cuba. The question on everyone's mind is, did he hold the office of president? Castro's rise to power began with the Cuban Revolution in 1959, when he and his fellow revolutionaries ousted Fulgencio Batista. Following this, Castro became Cuba's prime minister, a position he maintained until 1976. During his tenure as prime minister, he introduced sweeping reforms, including nationalizing industries and expanding healthcare and education. In 1976, a new constitution was enacted, and Castro's role evolved. He became the President of the Council of State and the President of the Council of Ministers. These positions gave him the highest authority in the Cuban government, allowing him to shape the country according to his vision. Castro's presidency was characterized by strong ties with the Soviet Union and a one-party communist state. He also played a significant role in international affairs, supporting revolutionary movements and participating in global events. So, the answer is clear. Fidel Castro was indeed the president of Cuba from 1976 until he stepped down in 2008. Was Fidel Castro president of Cuba? Picture a country in the midst of revolution and one man at the helm, guiding it through profound changes. That man was Fidel Castro, and the question is, did he serve as president? Castro's leadership began in 1959 when he led the Cuban Revolution against the corrupt government of Fulgencio Batista. After the revolution, Castro took on the role of prime minister, which he held from 1959 to 1976. During this time, he implemented various socialist reforms and aligned Cuba with the Soviet Union. In 1976, Castro's title changed with the introduction of a new constitution. He became the President of the Council of State and the President of the Council of Ministers. This transition marked a significant shift in his role, as he now held the highest offices in the Cuban government. As president, Castro continued to shape Cuba into a one-party communist state. He oversaw the nationalization of industries, expanded healthcare and education, and maintained a strong grip on power until he transferred it to his brother, Raúl Castro, in 2008. So to clarify, yes, Fidel Castro was the president of Cuba from 1976 to 2008.